Have any of you played the Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree DLC? By George, it is bloody fun. I've been so damned addicted to it as not much else has been taking my attention. Oh, yes. Anyway, back onto the video, good sirs. Oh, and another thing, Tarnished. The next video after this one is going to be rather short. After that, I shall be discussing my own writing, and then we will be returning to the Trench Crusade topic. I do hope you enjoy it, and I do apologize if any inconvenience is had by me discussing my own writings for one video, that is, but I do believe it shall be worth it. Now, that is, of course, if you're interested in Trench Crusade, Gothic horror, diesel punk, that sort of thing. I do believe you would enjoy what I have to discuss. But that is for a later date. For now, sit back, pop a mentats, and relax. As Comrade Dmitri from Gobnik Radio would say.
Ой, господи боже. Извини, Squire. I did not notice you there. Michael. I am a tad busy at the moment, so I shall be playing one of the films for you until I get the class ready, okay? Let me check for a film. Yes, I haven't seen this one before. Should be interesting.
Woe to you, O earth and sea, for the Lord of the Flies is come down unto you, and he brings his scourge of wrath. Psalms of Pestilence, chapter 3, verse 13. The greatest threat that the Black Grail poses is not the foul, poisonous miasma that spreads its corruption, nor the clouds of diseased iron locusts and flies it unleashes, nor even the horrific half-living war bands that plague the land as a wasting disease ails the body. The hegemons of the Black Grail are its final, most horrific evolution of Beelzebub's dark master plan for the befouling creation to take vengeance against God. When the Black Grail is allowed to spread unchecked, then eventually, through all living things will be tainted, and so many thralls, algrims, heralds, and other blighted servants of the Lord of Flies swarm in one place so they can become a host to the hegemon of the Grail, a terrifying shadow of Beelzebub on earth. The metamorphosis begins with a strangely beautiful chanting. The servants of the Grail call out to Beelzebub for them from their ruined mouths, singing plague hymns that give praise to his beautiful creations, and petitioning him for aid. Thousands or even millions of innocents are sacrificed, their bodies cut open and their entrails arranged to a sprawling mandala of indescribable and powerful sigils. The air grows thick like mud. Swarms of flies coalesce into strange and ominous symbols. A powerful abscess forms in the sky, from which great bolts of diseased blood strike the tortured earth. The chanting servants of the Black Grail, still holding the living and suffering humans within the foulness of their bulk imprisoned, slowly march into the center of the mandala. In an agonizing ritual, they meld together into a putrid mound of colossal proportion. As the last vestiges of the human hosts melt away, this quivering mass transforms into a new and terrifying shape. If not to be destroyed by holy fire, then within 13 days, an armored titan crowned by a swarm of Beelzebub's winged children rises from the swarming mass of twisted flesh. Thus a hegemon of the Black Grail is born, a nightmare who walks the earth. The powers of the hegemon are beyond those of any other creation of the Black Grail. It can extend the corrupting power of Beelzebub into graves and morgues, so that even in death there is no escape or respite from the Lord of Flies. In battle of the 100-foot monstrosity can challenge entire battalions of infantry and whole tank corps. It is the twisted and foul wisdom and genius of a lordly fallen angel. Thus far, only 2 hegemons of the Black Grail have risen during the Great War. One slain by Paladin Ingler, who tragically perished in the duel. Another was defeated by the living saint Joan of Arc during the Corpse Wars in the year 1429. The Church and the forces of New Antioch are determined to never let another hegemon rise ever again. Pictured here is Unersa Rex, hegemon of the Black Grail, whose steps made those thrones of Europa tremble during the Corpse Wars. The Lord of the Flies does not rely on mortal servants to wage war on creation. Instead, he spreads his depraved influence through the mysterious powers of the Black Grail, the debased fount from which an endless tide of vermin and infections flow. The servants of Beelzebub carry weapons blessed by the Black Grail, where even the smallest of scratches can doom the unfortunate victim to a grim fate. They become an enslaved abomination, forced to obey the will of the King of Decay, as they are slowly eaten alive from the inside by fiendish parasites. The power of the Black Grail is indiscriminate, and sometimes several creatures succumb to its corruption, falling into a pool of disgusting, putrid matter. Their bodies then form an amalgamated servant of Beelzebub, which then lurches to its feet, ready to spread the corruption even further. The most common of these amalgamations are the Hounds of the Black Grail, a grotesque melding of canine, human, and insect. They form the vanguard of the cult of the Black Grail, and assault defended positions with their great loping strides. To spread their parasites even further, they use their probing mouthparts to liquefy the internal organs of their victims, leaving them helpless and paralyzed so they can be infected by the heralds of Beelzebub, or torn apart by messianic vessels, the tumor-ridden mortals that have fallen under the domination of the Black Grail. When the tide of the Black Grail comes, many mortals cry out to Beelzebub in their despair, hoping that the Lord of the Flies would spare them in exchange for worship and servitude. But their cries fall on deaf ears, for the Prince of Gehenna hates all of creation, and only wishes to warp it into a form pleasing to him and hateful to God. But there are a few mortals, though exceedingly rare, who truly share the vision of Beelzebub and wish to end the world in a putrid, parasite-infested mass, eternally writhing in the throes of the endless plagues bestowed upon them by the Black Grail. Many of them are secret and highly skilled killers, men and women whose pleasure is to murder repeatedly, plying their craft in secret, wishing one day to do it openly. From amongst such twisted individuals are inducted into the ranks of the unholy order of the Fly, known as Plague Knights. When the Black Grail comes, they come out calmly and welcome the wave of corruption, and are not consumed by it, but rather warped into a cadaver-like creature halfway between life and death. They retain sentience, intelligence, and a damp memory of their past lives, making them extremely useful at leading the Black Grail into the isolated farmsteads and remote settlements that might otherwise escape the clutches of Beelzebub. The more living creatures a plague knight can find and warp beyond recognition, the higher they will climb in the ranks of the Order of the Fly, and greater the favor they will find in the eyes of Beelzebub. Amongst their rank there are 12 plague knights of great renown, made in mockery of the paladins of the church, great champions of the Fly. They dwell within Ikron, the city of Beelzebub, a place of such writhing horror that none dare to approach it, not even the mightiest of heretic lords. But sometimes the orders of their lord come to their ears, and then the mightiest of plague knights strike forth, following orders carried out by the deafening buzz of trillions of beating wings of hell flies. And cut.
Well, that was unexpected. I'm not entirely sure if you're meant to see that, truth be told, but let's keep that between you and me, huh? You know, friend, there aren't just demons in this war. The Saracens, they fight here too. They are an honorable foe. One every crusader dreams of fighting. There is a sense of honor and brotherhood in it. It is a strange relationship when you and your enemy have been fighting for so long you feel connected. But that is a story for another day.